Almost 2 years ago now, in the spring of 2022, I arrived on this campus to have lunch with Rabbi Feinstein. He greeted me and showed me around the second floor, walked me through the schools with all of our smiling, adorable children. And the tour culminated in the gym. I stood on the gorgeous parquet like a high school recruit being wooed by a legendary college coach at UCLA's Pauley Pavilion. I hope all of you can appreciate how difficult it was for a USC Trojan to just say those words. But tonight is a celebration of generosity. Weeks later, I walked around the campus during my official visit, and I was led from the beautiful Schulweiss Chapel down the main hallway into our beautiful multi-purpose Shiru to meet with day school and ECC parents. Afterward, I was asked if I wanted to see the beautiful renovation, and once again, sure enough, I was walked right back into the gym. We all take incredible pride in renovated spaces. It expresses care and meaning and significance. That's why you had me visit the gymnasium 4,000 times. When I asked about the sanctuary, I finally gained access to it. And while I stood in Shiru for my first Shabbat, I stood here on this bima for my first high holidays last year. And I felt a sense of awe in this room. And after services, a VBS member informed me that he considered this room as his grandmother's living room, locked in the past and only meant for a few days of the year. Now, my Grandma Faye's couch in her living room was always covered in plastic. And I'm not quite sure for whom it was intended. Who would ever be worthy of the removal of the plastic? If President Truman had shown up, for he was her absolute favorite for recognizing Israel, would the plastic have been removed for President Truman? As a child, the plastic covering conveyed a message of inaccessibility and intolerance of daily use. The plastic meant that we weren't intended to sit in the living room. And the more I reflected on that congregant's comment, the more I realized that we needed to make a change. Not because the sanctuary felt dated and needed a more contemporary aesthetic. Not because the sanctuary felt limited and needed greater technological capabilities, but because we needed to address a fundamental question concerning the future of this congregation. Which room stands as the center of our community? The renewed commitment to this room is actually a larger statement than a renovation. It's worth more than just the dollars spent on construction. The value of the renovation is that it articulates that we are once again meant to orient our community around this sanctuary. It is the final emphatic period at the end of our new mission and vision statement. Written in partnership with Rabbi Feinstein, Cantor Raffi, select staff members, and lots and lots and lots of lay leadership, we have constructed a new framework that announces that we see Valley Beth Shalom purpose as a place of welcoming and guiding people to live a Jewish life. We want to hold people's hands as they wade into the waters of Torah, deepen their understanding of our narrative, and strengthen their identities to face our collective tomorrow. Put another way, we want to help you steer through the mundane to the holy, from the Chol to the Kodesh. Last week's Torah portion features one of God's most inspiring statements to the Jewish people. It could be read as one of the many overarching theses of the Torah. Asu li mikdash v'shachanti betocham. Make for me a holy place, so that I may dwell amongst you. I'd like to point out two interesting components about the statement. First, logic would dictate that the sentence read, make for me a holy place so that I may dwell in it. But God doesn't make that claim. Judaism doesn't make that claim. This is indeed a holy place. There is indeed a sanctity to the place. But we don't visit this room because we think God lives here. We visit this room to remind us of God's presence in our lives each and every moment of our day. And for those of my friends who get scared of the G word, visiting this room and reciting prayers helps remind us that there is a greater expectation for us even in the most ordinary moments of our lives. And second, God's charge is in the plural. For my southern friends, it should really read, y'all make for me a holy place so that I may dwell amongst you all. Because the Jewish experience is not one that can ever be lived alone. It's not one that can be learned alone. And in the last year, I've learned that the Torah is once again correct. It's not one that can be created alone. And so I'd like to offer some gratitude for those who helped us renovate this room, refocus our communal mission, and create a brighter future for this community. Tonight is a celebration of the generosity of the folks in this community who made this space possible. While Jeff Levine and Nancy Sher-Cohen will read a list of thank yous over dinner that will encompass the breadth of the campaign from the beginning of time, I'd like to take a moment here during the service to offer gratitude for those who stepped up for this final chapter of the campaign to make this space relevant again. We cannot reopen the Nizhnik Sanctuary and Glazer Hall and the Cinder Atrium without beginning by acknowledging the commitment of Jerry and Risa Nizhnik, Jack and Rita Cinder, and also Jenny Resnick and Brian, Talia, and Michaela Weissman, who contributed to the renovation of the Resnick stage in Glazer Hall in memory of Shelley and Mark Resnick. I'd also like to take a moment to thank Victor and Lisa Cohn, Lil and Jess Beim, Sharon and Robert Wiviet, the Di Toledo family, and Phyllis and Sandy Beim for their overwhelming generosity. In addition, every donor who participated in this sanctuary project is acknowledged inside of the program tonight and on the donor wall, including a new generation of donors who became stakeholders through the generosity and innovation of an anonymous donor who brought to us a matching gift. Thank you to Marco Marasini of Abramson Architects, Dave Stafford from C-Rock Stafford, who have been part of our team from the very beginning. Thank you to John Rutter and James Koenigsfeld from EPI, Manuel Batarian of AD Audio Pro, and the numerous other consultants and vendors and subcontractors who made this project possible. As always, thank you to Rick Curiel, who deserves a thank you each and every day from each and every one of us for his work through NASDAQ and Orion and his general maintenance of this building. A special thank you must be offered, as it is during each and every high holidays, and now most special services and events moving forward, to our own congregant, Steve Perlman, for his key creative role in supporting this weekend's programming from our new AV room in Glazer Hall. I'd also like to take the time to thank the lay leadership who helped steer this final phase of the building campaign. Nancy Sher-Cohen and Jeff Levine have held these positions for years. The two of you, along with Bart Pacino, have helped transform almost every square inch of this campus through your Midas touch and your expertise in construction. Thank you. You both, all three of you, welcomed me into this process, and I consider myself fortunate to work with all of you on the Cinder Atrium, the Nizhnik Sanctuary, and Glazer Hall. I've been blessed to work with Eileen Berman as president for the last 20 months, along with the entire executive committee and board of directors. In particular, I want to thank Eileen, Gil Barak, and Rosalind Grinberg for representing the exec committee on the construction committee. I'd also like to thank all of the incredible staff that works here at VBS. If I listed everyone, I would manage to forget someone and hurt them. So I'll highlight a select group of individuals who represent a really devoted, talented staff. To begin, our development director, Judy Feldman, is such a wonderful partner in strategy and fundraising. Many in this room know that anytime you have an issue, you can call Judy and she'll always help. She's like the black card American Express of VBS. In a visual world, Liat Cohen always creates compelling graphics and crafted tonight's program. She's an incredible talent, and I'm so happy you're here with your family tonight. Tonight's program, like so many at VBS, has been led by the skill and determination of Alana Zimmerman, who constructs beautiful evenings with her signature of managing time, managing personalities, and her pure love of Yiddishkeit, of Judaism. Matt Weintraub is an incredible executive director of this institution, who went above and beyond by helping to reimagine the sanctuary, by working with committees, by spearheading this construction project, and by navigating so many competing interests. On behalf of the community, thank you, Matt, thank you. On behalf of so many, for the many, many hours of hard work on this sanctuary, social hall, and atrium renovation project. Finally, I'm so lucky to work with an all-star clergy team that makes services meaningful and fun. Between rabbinic sermons and teachings and cantorial liturgy and concerts, we have it covered. It's a joy to work with Rabbis Feinstein, Cantor Raffi, Cantor Fox, Cantor Barron, and Yossi Dresner, who's hiding right there. Thank you all for being part of the team. It is the result of a tremendous team effort that this sacred space is ready this evening. We have to remember that Moses could not construct the Mishkan alone. He needed the truma, the contributions of the Jewish people, and he needed the artistic craftsmanship of Bezalel and Aholiav. Any institution worthy of our people needs to bear the fingerprints of many of our people and the talents of others. This sanctuary, with all of its tools, representing the directive that we need to continue to inspire Jews and bring God into our lives. It's time for services and musical programs and educational programs and new technologies to reach a new generation of families yearning for a guiding North Star in a rather tumultuous reality. To put it another way, it's time to remove the plastic from the couch. That's what this moment calls for. For us here and for our brothers and sisters in Israel. Younger generations have to feel comfortable and inspired to step forward and join us and one day become leaders. Because the beauty of our tradition is that we have heard the same call to build for ourselves a mikdash, a holy place. While the tabernacle didn't offer first-class luxury seats, state-of-the-art sound, or giant plasma screens, its moral compass was the Torah. It still remains in our ark. It's the eternal guiding document of our people. For when we remove the plastic, we're the same people, trying to sit on the same couch, trying to internalize the same divine ethics of the same scroll. I hope and pray that this new sanctuary inspires you to sit on the couch next to Moses. I'll sit nearby on a love seat with Grandma Faye and Papa Nathan and Ba and Gammy. If they'd have walked in here this evening, they might not have recognized the screens or the professional-grade acoustic sound panels that cover our brick walls. But they would have recognized the bima, the ark, and our new gorgeous Ner Tamid. They would have stopped in their tracks when they gazed upon the Jerusalem stone behind me, and the verse from Isaiah that articulates in both word and decor our value in our community, that we recognize the source of our unfolding tradition as Jerusalem. And we stand in solidarity with Israel now and always. My grandparents would have felt, my grandparents feel awe and pride. For this is a sanctuary worthy of sitting at the heart of this community. Shabbat Shalom. To celebrate the generations who have enjoyed this space and will continue to enjoy this space, please rise and put your arms around your neighbor. And join us in Ledor Vador, followed by Shehechiyanu.
Ledor vador, nagid god lecha hu lenetzach netzachim. Kedushatcha nakdish, kedushatcha nakdish. Ledor vador, nagid god lecha hu lenetzach Netzachim, Kedushatcha naqdish, V'shivcha Eloheinu, Mipinu lo yamosh, Le'olam vahen, Le'olam vahen. Ledor vador, nagin god lecha hu lenetzach netzachim, kedushatcha naqdish, ki el melech gadol v'kadosh ata le'olam.
Let's join together for the Shehechiyanu, thanking God that we have reached this moment in our community.
Shehechiyanu v'kimanu
Amen.